Hello and welcome to another video. So starting as I did last time with a little look at my notebook with my sketches in, a few different characters from a few different franchises. So we've got some Hunter x Hunter here, we've got some Naruto, we've got some June, we've got some Bleach. It's a bit of a mishmash. But today I will be focusing on the two female ninja, or kunoichi, I think that's the right word, from Naruto. So we've got Temari of the Sand Village and Tenten of the Hidden Leaf Village. Both characters that probably could have had a bit more airtime, I'm going to say. Anyway, so we start with Temari. So as I have done in the past, I just photographed the page from my notebook and uploaded it into Procreate, changed the opacity of the photographed layer, and then used other layers to draw on top. So I'm using the Freycinet brush as I have done in the past. I'm very fond of it. I like the texture of the line. I also like it for colouring because you get quite a nice texture there as well. Kind of chalky now that I'm thinking about it. Or a little cloudy maybe. I just enjoy it. So here I go, drawing around the headband and just laying out the shape of the face. So the reason why I chose these two characters isn't very deep. I just really enjoyed their original kind of fight in the tuning exams, and I always thought Temari was kind of a cool character, especially since that fight. And Tenten just seemed like a good companion character to do as well, because of that original fight, in which Tenten got absolutely slammed by Temari. Oh, I might be joined by a cat again. We'll see. He's sneezed. Bless you. So Tenten got really whooped by Temari and her giant iron fan. I guess it was iron. That she was carrying on her back, and I remember thinking, like, what is that? And then, because she used it so quickly, the cat is arriving now. Come on in. No, don't scratch the chair. Oh. Sorry about that. She used it so quickly because Tenten, whips out her weapons and from her scrolls, and they all come flying down at Temari. And in the blink of an eye, they're all just scattered on the floor. And I watched it in the anime the first time. I didn't read the manga back then, and I just thought it was so cool, the way she absolutely whooped her without at any point really getting the fan out for any prolonged period of time. I think she just used it so swiftly, and I just thought that was really effing cool. And then every time she used her fan after that, I just thought it was really cool as well. And summoning that little kind of weasel character, who I think is a character in Japanese folklore. I should probably have looked that up. But that was another cool moment. Some facts about Temari. I, scoured the internet for absolutely hours and found you these really interesting facts. Some of them really basic, I kind of already knew, but some of it not. So, as you probably know, Temari was a wind style user, and she used her giant fan to great effect. Wind style is generally called futon. I can't think of a good jutsu to say, but I really want to be like futon no jutsu, which I'm sure I've heard in the anime, but I'm doing a terrible impression of it. Anyway, so she was a real strategist as well. That's pretty obvious, especially in her fight with Shikamaru. And I guess when she assisted Shikamaru... No, that wasn't much strategy, actually. She just blew away the forest with her technique. But yeah, she was a good strategist. She is the eldest of the three siblings, the three Sand village siblings. So Kankuro is the middle child, and then Gaara is the youngest, I believe. And I didn't know, but eventually she goes on to marry Shikamaru, which I suppose is a very good pairing. What a power couple. And then looking at her popularity in polls, I believe the highest she ever scored was 11th in character popularity polls, which in actual fact is pretty good, considering the amount of characters in Naruto. Well, actually, was that poll Naruto? Was it Naruto Shippuden? Was it both Naruto and Naruto Shippuden? Or was it Boruto, Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, or just Boruto? I don't know. Should have found that out. But I did not. So, yeah, 11th. Not too bad. There's my coffee, by the way, just skimming past. Yeah, 11th, not too bad a place, I reckon. So, right, I've outlined all of the major lines now, and then kind of like added quite strong shadows under things. I wouldn't call myself a super duper expert, so I just kind of add things where I feel like they make sense to add. Just kind of under things, so under her chin and jawline, added some shadow there, and then where the kind of collarbone is kind of underneath the flap of clothing on the collar, and then underneath the headband. This cat is rolling around on my lap, and I feel like he's just going to fall off. And looking at it now, so I've chosen this colour to do the face, and there we go, I'm adjusting it, which is good, because watching it back on this, it looked kind of khaki, which I don't believe is a natural skin tone. And then I think I'm getting a slightly darker shade just to and I adjusted it, by the way, I should point that out. Adjusted it with the hue saturation adjustment, and then gone in and just like darkened some of the bits just to kind of emulate a bit of shadow, show that there's a bit of darker areas, just to complement the actual really dark shadow that I added already in the line. And then I think I'm going on to colour the headband here. So just gone with the dark grey. I believe I might use that same grey to then colour her kind of clothing. We will see that. I've also took a bit of artistic license with this character. So normally Temari has these kinds of fringe or bangs that kind of hang over her headband, but I just kind of wanted to do something a bit different, and you know, it's my drawing, so I can do that. So I just went with no bangs, and I thought the kind of 4 ponytails at the back was enough to show which character it was, and then also got the obviously the giant fan there as well. But yeah, I did use that same colour. So yeah, a slight character redesign. On that topic, I was thinking I might have a bit of a stronger redesign with some of the other characters in the series, particularly maybe like Sakura. I kind of thought she just became a bit lame towards the end. And I think there's a cool character in there somewhere. I can't, I'll never get the success of Kishimoto, and I don't pretend that I will. But I can have my take on things, and I think that's something I might like to try and do. And if I get ripped apart for it, then so be it. Okay, so then I'm just going all in there and just patting away the the edge of where I've coloured in, just so it's more of a soft edge, which I did with my previous drawings as well. Tappity tap tap. This video is sped up by 2, so if you think my hand moves this quickly naturally, then you are sorely mistaken. So then I go in to do the hair, and I think I decide the colour's not good, so I change it, and maybe I do that once more after this, because I just wasn't getting what I wanted. It looked a bit too peach against the skin, I think, and I wanted blonde, man. Is that what I said? Blonde? I think at that point I'm just get sick of it, and I think, well, I'll colour it all in and see what it looks like, and then I can adjust the whole layer if I need to. So if I get in there, do one messy ponytail after another. I guess the hair kind of really complements the character in a way, like these messy ponytails. You know, she's a wind style user, so her hair is going to be blown around an awful lot. You know, maybe it would have been a better idea to just wear a hood or something, or put it in a nice plait, and then that wouldn't be so irritating. But it's all away from her face. Well, it is now with the absence of the bangs, but they weren't exactly in her eyes in the original design. I think in Boruto as well, she gets kind of like a big side bang. I think I remember seeing that when I was looking at kind of reference imagery. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you think that's right or not. Also, let me know what you think about this no bangs redesign, and if you think doing other redesigns might be a good idea, because it's kind of a fun idea for me, and I'm probably going to do it anyway, but you know, let me know what you think. So here I am, almost done, and apologies, the camera seems to kind of blow out a few times, so you kind of miss what's happening on the screen. Yeah, going in here with just the slightly darker now, just to add some shade to certain parts of the hair and a bit of definition, really. The old central parting bit, just around the headband there as well. You know, I'm not particularly gifted when it comes to colouring and shading and stuff, so I just do what feels nice and simple and I think looks attractive. It is very simple, but you know, the effect is there and I'm happy with it, and you know, if you're happy with your own work, then that's kind of all you need, really, innit? So what do I move on to next? The straps, maybe? I think they were red. So yeah, I'm doing the old strapperunos. That's quite a nice red, actually, looking back. Well done me for not being too over the top with that red. I really like red. I really like bold red, and I paired it back there. Very proud of myself. And here I go again, just adding some definition and some shadow. Not too much needed on that right side. And then I'm going to go and tappity tap away with the textured eraser. Then I think I'm going to do the fan, so the iron side that we can see of the fan, colouring that in like a mad person. I'm going to be using the eraser on this as well, so it'll be a kind of more soft edge there. And then I add a bit of reflection there too, just because I felt like the right thing to do. Tappity tap away, and then I'm doing the kind of paper element of the fan. I just went with an off-white colour because I didn't want to just leave it completely white. so pretty simple. I don't think I added any shadows there either, so my attention to detail is slipping as the image is going on by the looks of it. So colouring in the kind of metal front bit on the headband. I used to have a bunch of these headbands when I was first into Naruto, and I thought it was just so cool, and I managed to get some online, and back then it was like you couldn't just get every single little thing really easily off Amazon or wherever. Although I don't remember having too much of a hard time getting them, but I put them on my head and I realised I looked like a total turd, so I never wore them again, but I kept them for a long time. And the cat has returned. The Cat Returns, that's a popular anime movie. Come on. So there we go, just finishing with her kind of aquamarine eye colour and just adding a couple of reflective bits on the eyes, just to make it look a bit cuter. And I'm happy. So then I move on to my Tenten sketch. Using the same process as before, photographing, whopping it into Procreate and adjusting the opacity of the layer, and then adding more layers on top to do my line work and colouring in. I had to adjust, so I left Tenten with her bangs, and I had to adjust the our right as we view it. I had to adjust the bangs there because I was obscuring one of her eyes before. And that kind of thing just happens sometimes when you're sketching out ideas. You make silly mistakes and think, oh, what dope. But the joy of doing it this way is I can correct it pretty easily. So I'm just going in there and doing the lines for everything. I think I've got the emblem for the hidden leaf village right, but it's confusing to me for some reason, and it just doesn't look quite right. And I've already done it with the Yamato picture, so you'd think I'd know, but maybe I'm just doing it very badly and that's what's not looking right, and that's probably the most likely explanation. I know why he's on my lap, it's because it's almost feeding time. And he's telling me to just hurry up and finish yakking on. So, some facts about Tenten. She mostly used weapons in Naruto, and they tended to be produced from these scrolls that she would carry around, and then in her fight with Temari originally, it was quite impressive, these kind of using these scrolls and the puff of smoke and then weapons appear, and then there was this cool thing she did where she put two scrolls either side of her on the floor and then leapt up in the air, and the scrolls kind of spiraled up round her, and then she was just popping weapons off like a machine gun at Temari. I mean, it was completely useless and ineffective, but still it looked cool. So yeah, weapon specialist. She was part of Team Guy, so Neji and Lee were in her team. Arguably they were the more useful members of the team, but that's not her fault. That's just the way she was written. It seems to be that most people think she's a bit of an underused character, and I think that's completely fair. Especially in those early days, I thought she was kind of cool, but never really blossomed in the same way as some of the other characters got to. And she just felt a bit flat over time. The most popular she ever performed in a poll, which was taken among male respondents aged 10 to 20, was 4th place, which is pretty good. That's a very specific demographic, although perhaps quite an appropriate demographic for the franchise. But 4th place, I mean, surprising. Also, something that is completely, I'll say fascinating, but it's not, is that Temari and Tenten both have 6 letters in the name. Crazy. And they both start with T. There's a conspiracy going on here. Right, so carry on drawing the old lines here. So this is a big scroll that she's carrying on her back, and this design of Tenten, I should say, is kind of taken from Naruto Shippuden. So she's a bit older than she was when the series started in Naruto. And the eagle-eyed amongst the fans will spot that this outfit is not the starting outfit for Tenten. And I didn't do a great lot of redesigning. I think maybe I've increased the length of her bangs. I don't know why I did that. I think I just thought it looked nice. And I could sort of see them in motion in my head. But yeah, anyway. She could be another character that benefits from a redesign, or just a kind of like, maybe not a redesign, but like a possible future kind of design. So I kind of, as I was speaking about Sakura before, I thought, well, what if Sakura had become Hokage? You know, what's her name? Oh gosh, how annoying. Got Orochimaru. Oh my goodness, what's her name? Tsunade. Tsunade was Hokage, so why couldn't Sakura be? So I kind of like to explore a future where Sakura becomes Hokage, and is a bit more rough and ready, a bit more like a rock and roll version of Tsunade maybe. And also, you know, maybe incorporate some of the kind of genjutsu elements that she didn't have kind of explored. It was suggested that she would be, you know, a very expert in genjutsu, but then that never really happened for her. She became a medical ninja, which is great. It was really cool. But that whole side was just dropped. And here I am talking about Sakura, and we're talking about Tenten. So maybe I could do a future, you know, a kind of possible design for Tenten in an alternate future kind of thing, where she's a bit more badass, a bit more fleshed out maybe. As much fleshing out as I can do with one single image, but you never know. I do yak on a lot, so I could certainly share some information. So here we go, just colouring in the hair with this very basic brown. I think I tried to add some definition as well. But what I did here, which is a little bit, maybe I won't do again, was I alpha lock the layer and then go in with a darker colour. But the thing is, with a textured brush like this, is if there's any white in your layer, it's not going to treat it as like part of the layer. So if you're darkening anything, it'll just darken the bits that are already there. So the white bits remain as strong as they were before. So it still looks a lot lighter in some places because I was a bit more light-handed. So in the future, I think probably what I'll do instead of that is just go over again without alpha locking the layer, or I'll go over on another layer above and then kind of merge it with the layer underneath. But yeah, I think just a little learning I had while I was doing this. Not the best approach always to just alpha lock and then paint over, because you're only painting over what you've already got. So doing the old headband here, and then Tenten's outfit doesn't have a huge amount of colour to it. I think their trousers are kind of a dark red, but the top half is mostly white. There's not a huge amount going on downstairs in this image. But the piping on her outfit is a nice red colour, and then there's some gold, and the old scroll on her back features a nice green. So I just made sure to incorporate those colours because I thought they were good. I actually really like red and green together. I know not everyone's a fan, but I think it's awesome. What a natural combination. Think of strawberries, you know, with a little green spriggy thing on the top. I'm not going to bring up Christmas because, you know, it just seems to be a lot of people's go-to for not great red and green, but, you know, actually you can't deny that Christmas is pretty, so, anywho, I like it. So here we go. It's blowing out a little bit annoyingly here, so I'm sorry that you can't see all of this perfectly. Maybe I ought to explore having this at an angle. Might help in future. But then we get in here with the straps, shoulder straps for the. I'm guessing it carries the scroll. Just doing those in this gold colour. And then over to the other side, and then I'll erase those with the textured eraser as well, as I have done with the red parts of the strap. And then the little fastenings of the top in gold. In gold. It's in gold. Always believe in your soul. And then we move on to the green of the scroll. It's the scroll. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I paused there. I had a slight pause. Maybe the cat was tormenting me. It's possible. Although now he's quietly sat on my lap. Cool. So we've got this nice green colour, and then I couldn't remember what the colour of the little next bit on the scroll should be, so I think I just went with the kind of duller gold, although it looks pretty damn similar to the other gold. And then I think I go for like a dull old brown on the end bit. So yeah, coming to the end of this one, and I think the last thing I do is I add in some little grey shadowy bits to the white top, and then that's pretty much done. That's a bit too dark. Pick a lighter colour. This video will end quite abruptly, as it did last time. So, you know, I'll say my goodbyes now, so that I don't have to quickly rush them in at the end, and I'm just watching the time go down. But yeah, if you have any thoughts about other characters you'd like me to do to the no one who's watching this video, then please share in the comments. And I hope you have a fantastic week wherever you are. Thank you. Bye bye.